So here's a life lesson that my grandma told me years ago. And I'm only saying this because of this video that's been going on about the man that was protecting his wife from 5 ratchet mams. 5 ratchet mams. Shout out to Jamal. My grandma told me, I was raised basically, never put your hand on a woman. And one day, a woman put her hand on me. I didn't put my hand on her. I was young then. I told, my grandma asked me, what happened to your face? And I told her, yeah, some little young girl thought it was cool, to swing on me. And, I didn't know what to do because I was told not to raise my hand to a woman, to female, period. My grandma told me the most realest words ever. Matter of fact, shout out to Charleston White because, equal left, equal rights. But even before that even became popular, my grandma told me, you right, grandson, never put your hands on a woman. Unfortunately, but she said but I'm going to say unfortunately, because but is just, people know what but means after saying something before, what but means, saying but, what means after. Basically said to me, if she thinks she's big and bad to approach a man or a boy who she knows or even thinks is stronger than her and commits to putting her hands on him, if she hits you, you have all right to knock her the hell out and put her in her place. Because no one should put their hands on no one. And she said that the sad part is that men, boys, are the only ones who were taught never to put their hands on a woman. Women never teach their daughters to not put their hands on a man, knowing that there might be consequences and repercussions if you find that right man who's not going to stand back and just let you just slap him beside the head, spit on him, etc., etc. So I applaud that man. I applaud any man who's willing to protect the one he loves. I don't applaud the dudes who just feel like they just need to slap a broad around, you know what I'm saying? You a lame, okay? But, no, to say that to say this, if even my grandmother, who was a girl, who grew up to become a grown woman, who became my grandmother, and she was from the South, and she was a pure-blooded Chippewa Indian, tells me, it's the same woman, just like my mom, who told me never put my hands on a woman, and they were both in the room when my grandma said what she said, and my mom agreed. If my mom agreed to what her mom said to me as her grandson, to never put your hands on a woman unless she puts her hands on you first, and in her eyes and her mind, all bets are off. That woman needs to just sit the heck down and put in her place. And personally, if any man around out there sees a woman acting out of character and stands there and think it's funny, and then when the man decides that he ain't for the funny, and you run over to defend the woman, something's wrong with you. Because you mean to tell me you can't say, hey girl, you better shut that shit down for this nigga knock you the hell out? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might defend it afterward because you probably don't want to see her getting beat the heck down. But more importantly, I believe men who run to a woman, knowing that she's doing all type of trying to cause all type of havoc and chaos towards a man, you a punk because you think you're gonna get the pussy. No, you're not. Sorry for saying the P word, but not really. No, you're not. She's not gonna give you none of that wet, dude. You stupid. You need to shut her down before something happens, because then you got to defend. And then you don't even know if that dude got a weapon. He might have that stick. And so, women, I understand you weren't raised to not put your hand on a man. But yet you need to understand, like they say back in the day, and you was taught this, if a person put their hands on you, you better put your hands back on them. Especially if you grew up in the hood. You've heard those words. I don't give a damn who it is, man. They hit you, better hit them back. They hit you, better hit them back. So, as black, as African, as American people, because I'm not going to say black Americans, because we were born here. So, as an American of the skin color that I'm in, you've heard your mother and your father and your aunties and your uncles and your grandma and your granddad tell you, if someone put their hands on you, let me reiterate, if someone, because they didn't say Jace, they didn't say gender, they didn't say if a man or a woman. They said if someone puts their hand on you, you better put your hand back on them. It's only in years later where, oh, don't put your hand on a woman, da-da-da-da. And it's always to the, like I said, it's always to the guy, never put your hand on a woman. But you'll never hear a woman telling a woman, never put your hands on a man. But that's the consequences when you're not being taught properly. When you were told one thing and then you change the narrative to another thing. These are the results. So ladies, I encourage you, don't put your hand on a man. You can argue all day. Men don't really care about you talking shit. Really, we don't. Really, we don't, unless he's a weakling. Really strong men don't care about you talking. Words is words. Sticks and stones, break bones, names will never hurt you. You calling me out my name means absolutely nothing. But the moment you put your hands on me because you believe that I ain't listening to you, all bets is off. All bets are off. Time to put on the boxing gloves. Who gonna win? Who gonna win?